the red cancels the red, the blue cancels the blues, and because of that, it makes a 3D effect. Now there's two ways to do 3D. You can have a camera with two lenses and do it and take two pictures, then you look through it together with a piece of optics, and then that gives you 3D. And this is the cheaper way, the poor man's way, and that is to do this and this. There are some experiments you can do with black and white film, if you can get it in the camera, or even, experiments. You could take a piece of red cellophane or green cellophane, put it in front of your camera, take a picture. Take two pictures using one color and then putting the other color in front of the lens. Develop the pictures, develop your pictures, and then put this up in front of your face that's your homemade and see if you get any 3D out of it. That'd be a good science project, you know that? Okay, other optical illusions. Acetates. Acetates are usually nice and clear, and people write on them. They put songs for church, or they use it for business presentations. And then if you simply just, looks like a spirograph type design, and you take this and just make a design. Let me show you what happens when you put these two together. You put this one here. Now you put this one in front of it, and watch what happens when I turn it. See? I haven't turned it too good. Now we're going to do it. See, it gives that neat effect. Optical illusion. Things are happening so quickly, your eye cannot pick it up, cannot observe what's happening. And you get a whole bunch of collection of lenses. Where did I get these from? Well, they got these little science kits that you can buy. But you change the patterns. But here's what I'm trying to say. You got that little machine that makes circles and all that? Find yourself a piece of plastic. Now there are pens you can buy that write on plastic. And for you, those of you who have a nice steady hand or an art student, if you do one of these, just make this pattern on a piece of this, and then lay it on your drawing that you've made like this, and then just start turning it. Look, you didn't even see it right there. You can get your optical illusion. That's good if you can't sleep at night. You know, you sit there and... You know, there's another optical illusion. It's a strobe. Yeah. You remember we had the fan sitting there? We were experimenting with that before we started the program, and the TV camera could not pick it up. The TV camera has its own way of looking at, you know, gathering the pictures up, and therefore it was unable to pick up the fan. Now, let me explain that. When you turn on this strobe, it begins to flash. See it? Isn't that awesome? The camera that we're using right now, it can't even hardly see the light bulb. The light bulb is right there in the middle. All we see is this nice, look at this, it almost wipes the camera out. Oh, that's psychedelic. Oh, just copy that on videotape and play it back and play it. Oh, never mind. That is a strobe. Now, if you take the strobe, put it in front of a fan, turn the fan on any speed you want, and then when you adjust the strobe, you can actually stop the fan blade. No, not by unplugging the cord, but the blinking light will let you see exactly where the blade of the fan is at that particular moment. And you've got to get this going at the correct speed to match that of the speed of the fan. Another neat thing to do is at night, because this works very well at night because you need to get rid of all the lights. Set this on the sink in the kitchen, turn your water faucet on and let it drip. And if you adjust the speed on this, you'll actually stop the drop. It'll just hang right there, and yet you still hear it going, you'll hear it going bleep, 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 and the drops are hanging right there. Something to try. Strobe, very expensive. I mean, you don't get this thing just so you want to watch the blade stop and the water stop. But these can be found at a lot of your local type stores that sell this party stuff, I would call it. We have here, this is a meter. You know they actually have ways to measure light. This particular meter, this is used in television. Well, how about that? We're in TV. And it's used for measuring television. I'm trying to get the other one out. I have another one here. There we go. This one is for measuring light with a camera. Now that is oldie goldie. You see, today All the cameras have automatic this and automatic that. They even wind the film for you, don't they? They even advance the film, then wind it back up and put it back in the spool. You just pop it out of the camera. Everything's automatic. These devices, you point at the light, and this one you flick a little button, and it tells you how bright the light is. Well, who cares? Well, on a photography with a camera, you need to know where to set your iris, the little opening on the lens, how much light you want, how much light you don't want. It's called overexposed, underexposed. But your television light, now that's a very special one, you see, because you have to know if there's enough light pointing at the talent. That's me. I'm called talent. Those are engineers and camera people. So this tells you how much light there is that's coming in the studio. If it's enough, you can actually point this underneath the person around like this and make sure there's enough light. A lighting expert knows how much light is required, where to put the lights, and it's very professional. With this one, with a camera, you simply point it at the thing you're going to take a picture of, and you read this, and the little numbers on here tell you where to set the lens. Now there's other kinds of uses of light. You ever been to the store and you walk through the door and it goes, meh. In fact, that's why I'm not going to plug this thing in. It goes, meh. It's a terrible sound. When I use it for my teaching, the kids jump out of their seats because in the noise. They put their finger in their ears, and all that. But look, I didn't get that from a bicycle. It comes with it. We call that a reflector. It bounces the light off. So this security system here, simply the beam of light comes out of one hole, hits the reflector, and goes back into the other hole. And inside there's a photoelectric cell. Doesn't that sound impressive? Photo meaning light, electric means you plug the dude in, or battery operated, and you have the sensor, which is the device that tells you what's going on. But these are really fancy. You pay good money for them, and they got all kinds of ways you can hook up a silent alarm that instead of going eh, you can make it kind of quiet. You can also hook it up to the front door or shoot halfway across the room. Usually department stores, small little stores in the mall, except some of the stores that sell nature stuff. Obviously they have frogs and dinosaurs and animals making noises when you come through the door. Same thing. Now, if you don't mind investing some money on that, you can buy one of those little critters and kill it. Oh, take the parts out. For example, this is a device, as you probably would know, for changing channels on a television set. Okay, and it's still active. See, look at the light. Now, this is exciting to have something like this, except there's one problem. If you look at my electricity and electronics series, the VCR that this belongs to is dead. Oh. And it would get hit by lightning, but this didn't get hit because the lightning didn't jump across the room. But if you want to get more advanced electronics, you can find out what's in here. Now, there's a beam of light. I remember years ago that when we had the first of these channel tuners, it was done with sound. And when I opened one up, which I don't have anymore, you know, you never seem to keep things like that. Oh, man, that's trash. Don't work, and you pitch it out. And you don't have it for teaching, like for myself. So anyway, you punch it, and there was a little bitty little tuning fork in there, and it go, ding, ding, and that sound wave would change the TV channel for you. And every time my dad would take his keys out and say, well, it's time to go, and he would just shake his keys, you know, and the TV set would start changing the channels, and hey, watch it now. And then we'd have to sit here and try to get the thing all back again. But now, this and this is a different form of light, infrared. Sounds impressive, doesn't it? Infrared, that's what, night vision and all that kind of night scopes? You talk about money when you get into that stuff. So these devices are using light. They were using sound once upon a time, but they are, of course, using the light. Now I've got one more way that light is used. It's a little toy. Let me get this off of here as you get ready for that. Any idea what that is? It's a solar cell. You all know what those are. They put them on satellites and all kinds of neat things like that. Now, one of my wires is popped off. In fact, so is the other one. So I need to wrap it around the ends of this little motor. I had to get a different motor. Usually this would be soldered on here. So I had to get a different motor to do it. Okay, there's the motor. Gonna hold that wire on like that a little bit. Still with me there? Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to get a light. I'm going to shine the light on this photocell. And the idea is to see if you can, the motor is working. I can feel it. Check the focus on that. Let me get this light over here a little different. There we go. See it? Oh, I can see it. Can't you see it? Yeah, see it? Take the light away. Just turn a little bit. Let the camera adjust to my light being removed. Now the motor is not turning. Let me bring the light back. See, the camera's got an automatic iris. It's trying to adjust to my changing the light around. So there we can see the motor working. These are great. Now that's a wimpy little motor. But that kind of device is great because photoelectric cells for sensor motion detectors, all those things are neat little apparatuses that you can design and take them apart and work on it for your own little projects, for science fair projects. These photocells, that's the best way to go. These are not that expensive. They're in a lot of the science kits. Solar power, they call that. And also you'll find them just separately sold at certain electronic stores. Some little Ziploc bag or whatever. And these are silicon, that's sand, and wire mesh. And this is what powers this little motor. Solar power. You can actually have your whole roof that way, and you can power everything in the house, but the cost is out of the question. You've had 2 sections on light. Now we're going to go to 2 sections on sound. So this is a good transition. A transition would be, used to be a sound device, now it's gone to be a light device.